Today, I want to remind you that you do not have to force, manipulate, or control what it is that God has for you. God knows the ending from the beginning, and a lot of times He shows us a glimpse of our future. A lot of times He shows this to us in dreams and visions. Um, and sometimes it's just a knowing in our spirit, like, Father, I know that you have more for me. I know because of what the word says, of what you've promised. And so sometimes we want God's plan and purpose to happen fast. I get it. I have been there in so many situations. I think about Abraham, Sarah, and I think about Hagar in this situation because what happens? God promised Abraham that he be a father of many nations. And it's like he's telling Sarah, this is what, the angel of the Lord said. And there's no children for years. So what do? They ask Hagar, and actually she's Sarah's servant, and she gets pregnant by Abraham. They have Ishmael. Now, Ishmael was not specifically a child with promise. He was not the one that God was calling. Isaac was that child, and Isaac wouldn't come for a lot of years later. But when I think about them, I think about them trying to force, coerce, manipulate, control what it is that God promised them. And I think about us. How many times, or me specifically, how many times has God shown me something and I'm like, okay, Father, this is taking a long time. Healing, deliverance, job, career, business plan, spouse, children. I mean, whatever it is that you may have a prophetic word or a promise from God for, and you're asking God, Father, where is this? I've been waiting a long time. Okay, well, maybe since God has taken a long time, maybe that means I need to move in. Maybe I need to intervene. Maybe I need to start doing some things. Faith without works is dead, and yes, that's true. But running with a vision without seeking God is going to cause heartbreak. And so many times we have a vision and we run with it without fully seeking God. What did Abraham do? If he would have just got before God, you know, they had been in communication, but because he wanted God's plan, Sarah wanted God's plan, they have Hagar, and then they create Ishmael. And so not only do we have Ishmael and Hagar almost being banished, but it's like, okay, this has been created because we were trying to manipulate God and force God's plan, but now Ishmael is here. What happens? So if you have created an Ishmael in your life because you've moved ahead of God, when we see God, Hagar sought God. And when she did, she was banished, she was abandoned. She thinks that she and her son are going to be out there and just die, like it's over. There's nothing else for them. But God still intervened. So even if you've had an Ishmael, or what I mean by that, you've moved ahead of God, when we get back into the throne room and we go back to Father God, Lord, I need your grace. I need your mercy. I've created this, or this happened. This wasn't my fault, but this is where I am now. Father, I need you to intervene. God steps in, but that can only be done when we seek him through prayer, when we're humble before him and we're asking him to change the situation. So we don't want to be like Abraham and Sarah and move ahead of God. But if you have moved ahead of God, you can pray and seek the Father, fast with a repentant heart, and the Lord will help and change the situation. But I want to encourage you, do not force, do not manipulate, do not control, do not coerce, do not get ahead of God and mess up the plan and purpose that he has. Pray. We need faith, but pray and ask God, do I go this way? Do I move this way? Is this the person? Should I do this? And the Lord will lead us. I want to leave with this quote with Charles Spurgeon. He says, prayer has a mighty power to sustain the soul in every situation of its distress and sorrow. Remember Isaiah 46:10. God makes known the end from the beginning, from ancient times and even what's to come. His purpose and his plan will stand, and he will do all that he pleases. So just because it hasn't happened yet does not mean that it won't happen. It just means we have to wait. But while we wait, we will pray, and God will make it happen in his time. Be blessed.